Hello lovely people, welcome to the Art Hive with me Sarah, where today I'm going to share with you the process that I went through to create this peacock portrait in watercolour and a few other bits as well, and I will detail what I'm using as we go through and also in the description box below. So to start with, I drew an outline sketch of my peacock on watercolour paper and decided straight off to mask out some of those areas I wanted to preserve and keep really white. So they were areas around the beak and also, as you can see, some of these lines between the feathers there. I'll talk more about this masking pen later, but to start with I went in and started adding paint around the head, neck and body of the peacock. So I've been practicing a little bit this week on watercolours and layering and my technique for mixing as well, and I was really pleased the way this painting turned out in the end, and it was really nice to have a go with sort of mixing different colours in with the watercolour and also to work on building gradients and darker washes and building those up without getting any nasty lines, water lines, where the different layers were added. So I was really pleased with learning about that this week, and once I'd done that I left it to dry. And the thing is with watercolours is all about adding layers, so these transparent layers build up to create these really rich but vibrant colours, and I was keen for them to be really smooth, so I did sort of keep switching between doing different areas. And once I'd had a go with the body and the first part of the feathers on the back of the peacock, I then decided to use this fan brush to create that sort of layered feather effect. Now I didn't record the whole lot because it did take quite a long time, but basically I was just using, I think, Van Dyke brown paint, but quite dry, on my fan brush just to create the sort of impression of lots of layers of feathers, and sort of made sure that I was working in the direction that the feathers were lying to try and make it a bit more realistic. And once I'd done this, I then started to go back over some of those areas, increasing the different colours and layering up those colours there to make it look a bit more realistic and try and show the real sort of variety of different colours within those feathers. And I was also conscious that, as you can see on the right hand side of this area that I'm working on now, there was quite a lot of light, so I wanted to try and maintain that, but still added a few layers of lighter tones. And peacocks have such amazing colours. I was really keen to do this painting this week, and it was a little bit of a challenge, but I did really actually enjoy the process. It took about 3.5 hours, so it's quite a lot of video footage, and obviously I've sped it up quite a bit so that you don't have to sit through that whole process. And as much as I'd wanted to do the whole painting in watercolour, I did think that throughout the sort of the latter part of the painting that it did need to have those other materials that I did use, and that possibly I couldn't get, at least with my skills at the moment, the effects that I wanted. So moving on to those really bright areas of the feathers, I did sort of do these in several layers as well, and I was really happy with the sort of the red, I think it's a Venetian red light colour that I put around the sort of the more browny orangey areas to kind of bring those colours out and make it look really bright around the outside of those areas, and gradient, sort of a nice smooth gradient towards the centre where the blues are. I will just say at this point, as I'm continuing with that for the next couple of weeks there won't be a video on this channel, purely because I've got 2 commissions to do before the end of the month, and I really need the time to get started on them and to concentrate and do the best I can. And doing the videos does take quite a long time, and I don't know about anyone else, but I do find that I don't paint as well when I'm recording it on video compared to when I'm just doing it off video, because I think I usually get my head in the frame and I like to really kind of get close to the painting to see all the details. So I'm not going to actually post the process of those commissions because they need to be kind of as good as they can be. So I hope you'll understand that and bear with me while I get those done, and I shall be back once they're done. So back to the painting then, and it's just at the point now where I'm creating the ground area underneath the peacock, and I'm just doing kind of a loose sort of a brown area there. I'm not putting too much detail in because I wanted the main focus to be on the peacock itself. And now it's time to remove the masking fluid. So this did take quite a long time because the actual masking fluid pen I used was really difficult to get off, and I probably wouldn't use it again on this cold press watercolor paper. So after I'd done this, as I said, I did decide to then go in with some other materials, and the ones I'm using now are the Faber-Castell Polychromos colour pencils, and I decided to use these because they, as opposed to my Prismacolors, they do achieve a really nice sharp point. The wood casing is a lot harder than the Prismacolors, so you can get into the tooth of the cold press paper, and I added these just to add a few more kind of shades and tones to the painting, and a bit more detail with those fine feathers that I couldn't get with the paintbrush I'd got. Then after I'd added the colour pencil, I went in and added a little bit more detail to those feathers with a brown fineliner that was actually waterproof, and that was just kind of to build up some of the texture and the layers and give a bit more definition to those areas. But I was quite pleased with how it came along, and the last thing to do was to finish up the ground. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and if you have, please give it a like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon after I finish my commissions. Thanks for watching. Bye.